There's a very curious pattern in the used SUV market in the US that almost no one talks about. While some models become favorites, get highly sought after, and end up overpriced, others sit forgotten in listings for weeks, even though they're comfortable, reliable, and much cheaper to maintain than they seem. Not because they're bad, but because they carry the wrong label. Sometimes it's a brand without hype, sometimes it's a boring design, sometimes it's just a lack of fame. And the result is simple. People who buy based on image usually pay more. People who buy based on logic usually pay less and drive better cars for the same money. Today, I'm going to show you 5 cheap SUVs that almost everyone ignores, but that can be a real goldmine in the used market. Common models, easy to find, with proven mechanics, and offering far more than their price suggests. The idea here is not to talk about project cars or problematic SUVs that you buy cheap and pay dearly for later. It's the opposite. These are SUVs that make financial sense when you look at the total cost of ownership purchase, maintenance, fuel consumption, and headaches. And let me warn you, if these same SUVs had a different badge on the grille, they'd be costing thousands more. That's exactly where the opportunity lies. Now let's start the list with number 5, an SUV that almost never shows up on dream lists, but appears all the time in classifieds precisely because so many people ignore it. The model worth paying attention to here is the Chevrolet Trax, especially the first generation, from 2017 to 2020. Many people skip over it because they think it's too compact or boring, but in the used market, that actually becomes an advantage. Today, in the US, it's common to find a Trax from this period with between 60,000 and 90,000 miles, listed for around $8,000 to $11,000, depending on the region and the vehicle's condition. In this price range, many people end up choosing old sedans or problematic SUVs without realizing they could get a more modern and practical crossover. Mechanically, it comes with a 1.4-liter turbo engine, about 138 horsepower, and a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's not sporty, but it's a simple setup designed for daily use and low operating costs. When well maintained, it usually goes past 180,000 miles without major issues. In terms of fuel economy, it averages around 25 to 29 miles per gallon on the highway. Maintenance is also a plus. Brakes usually cost between $250 and $300. Basic services between $100 and $150. The most sensitive point is the cooling system, with repairs in the $300 to $400 range after high mileage. By comparison, the distortion is clear. An HR-V or CHR from the same year usually costs $3,000 to $4,000 more, even without any real advantage. Here, almost all the difference comes down to brand image. When buying, focus on maintenance history, smooth shifting transmission, no overheating issues, and checked electronics. The Trax is ideal for anyone who wants a cheap SUV for daily use, with low insurance and predictable costs. It's not a status car, but it's a logic-driven car, and that's exactly why it becomes such a great deal. The 4th SUV on this list is one of those cases where the market simply doesn't value what the vehicle delivers. Many people look at it, think it's too normal, and keep scrolling past the listing, and that's exactly where the opportunity lies. Here, it's worth paying attention to the Nissan Rogue, especially models from 2017 to 2019. This generation is more mature, offers a good level of comfort, and appears in large numbers on the market, which helps keep prices low. Today, in the US, it's common to find a Rogue from this period with 60 to 100,000 miles, listed on average between $9,000 and $13,000. That's a price that often won't even buy you a newer compact SUV, but here you get a midsize, spacious, and well-equipped model. Mechanically, it uses a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine with around 170 horsepower, paired with a CVT transmission. And here's the point that scares many people away: Nissan's CVT reputation. But in these more recent years, with proper maintenance and timely fluid changes, it tends to be much more reliable than its reputation suggests. In practice, this setup can easily go beyond 200,000 miles when well cared for. In terms of fuel economy, the Rogue averages around 26 to 33 miles per gallon on the highway, which is excellent for a midsize SUV. Maintenance costs remain reasonable. Brake jobs typically run between $250 and $300. CVT fluid changes are around $150 to $200. Skipping this service is the main mistake and the main cause of problems. By comparison, a Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V from the same year usually costs $4,000 to $5,000 more. The real difference lies more in perceived reliability than in practical data. When buying, it's essential to check the transmission's maintenance history, take a long test drive, and look for any jerking, noises, or delayed responses. If everything checks out, it's a great deal. The Nissan Rogue is ideal for those who want space, comfort, good fuel economy, and a low price, and who are willing to take proper care of their car. It's not for people who neglect maintenance, but for organized owners, it can be a hidden goldmine. Now we move on to an SUV that delivers an almost premium feel, but is treated by the market like an ordinary car, and that pushes its price down more than it should. Here, it's worth taking a close look at the Mazda CX-5, especially models from 2016 to 2019. This generation comes with the brand's more reliable mechanical setup and a level of interior quality that's above average for the segment. In the US used car market, it's common to find a CX-5 from this period with 60 to 90,000 miles, listed on average between $11,000 and $15,000. For what it offers in comfort, driving dynamics, and interior quality, that price is surprisingly low. Mechanically, it usually comes with the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter Skyactiv-G engine, producing around 187 horsepower, paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. There's no CVT, no problematic turbo, and no overly complex solutions. It's a simple, efficient, and durable setup. In practice, when well maintained, this engine easily goes past 200,000 miles. In terms of fuel economy, the CX-5 averages around 24 to 31 miles per gallon on the highway, which is competitive for a midsize SUV. Maintenance is another strong point. Brake jobs usually run between $300 and $400. Basic services are around $150. One of the few more expensive repairs that may appear at high mileage is the water pump, typically in the $600 to $700 range. In direct comparison, a RAV4 or CR-V from the same year usually costs $3,000 to $5,000 more, even without offering more comfort or better driving dynamics. Here, the difference is almost entirely due to brand perception. When buying, it's worth checking the suspension, alignment, and maintenance history. It's also important to look for possible paint wear in some model years, especially on cars that spend a lot of time in the sun. The Mazda CX-5 is ideal for those who want a well-balanced SUV, comfortable, good-looking inside, reliable, and with predictable costs. It's not the cheapest on the list, but it's one of the best in terms of value for money. The second SUV is one of those cases where the vehicle is extremely popular on the streets, yet curiously underestimated in the used market. Everyone knows it, but few people realize how good a deal it can be depending on the model year. Here, it's worth paying attention to the Ford Escape, especially models from 2018 to 2021, preferably with the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine or the hybrid versions. These are exactly the ones that offer the best balance between price, durability, and ownership costs. In the US market, it's common to find an Escape from this period with 60 to 90,000 miles, listed between $11,000 and $16,000. Hybrid versions usually appear a bit more expensive, in the $13,000 to $18,000 range, but they still make sense given the fuel savings. Mechanically, the key point here is to avoid the older 1.5 and 1.6 turbo versions, which had a history of issues. The naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine, on the other hand, is simple, robust, and known for easily exceeding 200,000 miles. Meanwhile, Ford's hybrid system from this generation has a good reputation and a low failure rate. In terms of fuel economy, the 2.5 Escape averages around 24 to 28 miles per gallon on the highway. The hybrid, on the other hand, can exceed 40 miles per gallon in city driving, which completely changes the monthly cost for high-mileage drivers. Maintenance costs remain reasonable. Brake jobs typically range from $250 to $300. Basic services run around $150. In hybrids, the battery usually lasts more than 8 years or 150,000 miles, and many are still covered under the federal warranty. By comparison, an equivalent Toyota RAV4 hybrid or CR-V hybrid usually costs $5,000 to $7,000 more. In practice, the difference is much more about brand than real-world efficiency. When buying, the focus is simple. Confirm the engine option, check the maintenance history, and in the case of hybrids, verify battery condition and system reports. The Ford Escape is ideal for those who want versatility, good fuel economy, and fair pricing without paying the brand tax. It's not the flashiest option, but it's one of the smartest on the list. The top-ranked model is the SUV that delivers reliability almost on the level of the most respected brands. Yet, the market insists on treating it as a second choice, and that drives its price down in a way that's almost unfair. Here, the standout is the Hyundai Tucson, especially models from 2017 to 2020, already featuring the more modern generation and a more refined mechanical setup. This period marked the moment when Hyundai truly began competing head-to-head with Japanese brands in terms of quality. In the US used car market, it's common to find a Tucson from this phase with 60 to 90,000 miles, listed between $10,000 and $14,000. For a midsize SUV that's well-equipped, with good safety features and solid technology, this price is extremely competitive. Mechanically, the Tucson usually comes with either a naturally aspirated 2.0 or 2.4-liter engine, producing between 161 and 181 horsepower, paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. There's no CVT, no problematic turbo, and no overly complex solutions. It's a setup designed to last. When properly cared for, this combination easily exceeds 200,000 miles. In real-world driving, fuel economy ranges from around 23 to 29 miles per gallon on the highway, solid numbers for the segment. Maintenance is another pleasant surprise. Brake jobs typically cost between $250 and $300. Basic services run about $150. The main points of attention are past recalls and oil change history, especially on the 2.4-liter engines. In direct comparison, a RAV4 or CR-V from the same period usually costs $4,000 to $6,000 more. And in practice, they don't deliver $4,000 to $6,000 more in reliability or comfort. When buying, it's worth checking that all recalls have been completed, reviewing the full service history, and taking a careful test drive to listen for any engine or transmission noises. The Hyundai Tucson is ideal for those who want the most SUV for the lowest possible price: space, comfort, technology, and predictable costs. It may not have the prestige of Japanese brands, but it delivers nearly the same package for much less. And that's exactly why it leads this list. These 5 SUVs clearly show how the market doesn't always price quality the right way. The Chevrolet Trax delivers practicality at a very low price. The Nissan Rogue offers space and fuel economy at an affordable cost. The Mazda CX-5 brings an almost premium feel without charging for it. The Ford Escape combines versatility and efficiency without the brand tax. And the Hyundai Tucson delivers perhaps the best overall package for the lowest price. None of them are status cars. None will impress in a parking lot. But all of them make sense when you look at the real cost over the years. How much you pay to buy, to maintain, to fuel, and to live with the car day to day. And that's where many people go wrong. They buy with emotion, afraid to go against the norm, and end up paying more for practically the same thing. Meanwhile, those who study the market, understand the numbers, and ignore the hype drive better while spending less. If you want to buy a car with real-world use, durability, and financial logic in mind, this channel is for you. If this video helped you, leave a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's thinking about changing cars, because in the end, the right information is worth more than any badge on the hood.